And we are back, everybody. Before we start the chapter, I just want to formally apologize for my absence for the past few days. But as I said in the first video, we have been moving, and well, I got a lovely brand new studio with plenty of space. It's all mine now. Yep, no longer do I have to broadcast from my bedroom. Nope, now I can actually broadcast from my wonderful studio here, and I don't have to worry about anybody coming in anymore. Mother! So, without further ado, let's get things started right with the second chapter of Rainbooms of Royalty by Triniary. Enjoy. Chapter 2, Fancy Parties.
Announcing Her Royal Majesty Princess Celestia. Prepare, 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 prepare.
Among the champers and fanfare, Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes. Another night, another boring function. She cast a quick, envious look out the window. It was a beautiful night, perfect for flying. She could be practicing her sonic rainboom right now. Even after all these years, her inability to repeat her epic triumph still ate at her. Instead of working to correct that, she had to waste the night indoors at some fancy party for a bunch of rich snobs. Princess Celestia gave her a gentle nudge with her wings and a quick look. Rainbow gave a silent sigh and nod. She promised her mentor she'd be good tonight. Neither of them wanted a repeat of Prince Bluebud's birthday party. Without another word, Princess Celestia gracefully strode out and elegantly walked down the stairs to the lukewarm, tepid applause that the upper class thought showed proper appreciation. Rainbow Dash, still hidden behind the curtains at the top of the stairs, sarcastically mouthed the next words she knew she'd be hearing.
And student.
Fighting the urge to bristle her feathers, Rainbow Dash walked out on cue, and promptly flapped her wings once and performed a somersault jump that took her to the bottom of the stairs in one leap. She was greeted with awkward murmurs and stares from the partygoers, who quickly found someplace else to look rather than her. Wouldn't know a good performance if it bucked him in the face! Dash muttered as she walked over to the hors stew over table. Actually, it was probably called the hors d'oeuvre table, but Rainbow Dash couldn't for the life of her figure out how you spelled it one way and spoke it in a way that didn't even come close to matching it. Dash tried sampling the tiny morsels available, had to fight the urge to gag. How did hate and ponies convince themselves that they liked these? What was wrong with a hamburger and fries? Rainbow Dash! She perked her head up at Princess Celestia's voice. Could you come over here, please? Sure thing! She called back, ignoring the disapproving stares and sniffs at her uncouth familiarity and impropriety, not to mention her lack of formal attire, or any attire for that matter. As Rainbow Dash nimbly worked her way through the crowd, she couldn't help but pick on snippets of conversation. Well, I never!
The nerve. Princess Celestia deserves better. Flavely a goose.
I love you, the hooligan! Dash arrived to find the princess with a pair of unicorns. One with a blue mustache and a monocle Rainbow found funny and kind of cool all at the same time, and a white and pink pony who looked like she hadn't eaten since last summer. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Fancy parts! I really gotta make that a ringtone. Ah, you're here. Rainbow Dash, I'd like to meet Fancy Pants and Fleur de Lis. Rainbow Sally mouthed to the princess. Fancy Pants? Seriously, that's his name? He didn't even wear any pants.
So to make your acquaintance, my dear.
Fancy smiled gallantly, bowing to her. Yeah, ditto. Rainbow fought the other's impulse in the face huff. No matter how hard she tried, she could never make herself sound classy at these lighting events. Celestia brought her hoof up to her face, and quickly to obscure a grin. Fancy Pants chuckled.
I must say, you do make for a breath of fresh air.
He winked.
I dare say you do add some much needed color to these proceedings.
With a gentle gesture, he raised Rainbow Dash's hoof to his muzzle and gently kissed it.
So glad you could make it.
Her cheeks lit up with a bright blush. Thanks? Her voice broke into an embarrassed squeak. She cleared her throat. Still a nice party?
Bye, thanks, but I think we both know it is not a lively party. Ho ho ho.
Fancy Pants gave a droll chuckle.
I'm sure you might have been to much more festive soirees, haven't you?
You could say that. Rainbow Dash tried and failed to suppress a sigh. I mean, it's great that you invited me, she added quickly, feeling Celestia stare in the back of her head, but couldn't help but adding, it's no day at the Wonderbolt Derby, though. Rainbow Dash. Celestia's rebuke was gentle, and mixed with no small amount of amusement, but was a rebuke nonetheless. The contrite Pegasus lowered her head. Sorry.
Not at all, I quite agree. Ho ho ho. Fancy Pants chuckled again. Your Majesty, you certainly have a fine student. It's always refreshing to hear a young pony speak her mind. In fact,
he looked down Rainbow Dash.
I happen to have a personal box for the Wonderbolts Derby, and I think a standing ovation to join me would make the experience much more memorable. Would you agree?
He smiled as Rainbow Dash's eyes grew.
Oh my gosh, 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 oh my gosh! That is so awesome!
She quickly looked at Princess Celestia.
I can go, right? Please say yes.
Celestia smiled.
I don't see why not, provided you keep up your studies.
She gave Dash a look as the cyan mare idly rubbed the back of her head.
Sure, right. My studies, no problem. Thanks again, Fancy Pants. That's really cool of you.
Nicest thing any pony has said about me all night. Ho ho ho.
The older stallion chortled.
I think there were some other ponies here, here. Why did you go talk to them? Well, us old ponies, so many odd things, were much better when we were young.
He winked, prompting a small laugh.
Sure thing. Thanks again.
Rainbow Dash was practically dancing on the tips of her hooves. Maybe this party wouldn't be so lame after all.
Lamest party ever.
Rainbow moped as she rested her head back on her foreleg. She hadn't been able to get 5 feet of the younger ponies Fancy Pants had mentioned before all the talk of dresses and fashion made young Pegasus felt like she was about to lose her lunch. So she sort of just wandered around until dinner was served. Dash looked down at the spread in front of her and couldn't help but wonder why they had 100 seemingly identical spoons and forks when all the serving silences were small enough to finish with one swallow.
Oh, tell me about it. Oh, I cannot wait to open my own restaurant with my father. I shall call it the Tasty Treat.
We would like to apologize for the saffron joke. A small bowl of soup was placed in front of her. She reached for a spoon. A small giggle greeted her. Rainbow Dash looked up, trying to see where it came from. All she saw was the other side of the table, filled with ponies who didn't seem to pay her any mind. Shrugging it off, she reached for another spoon. Again, there was a giggle, and a chorus of titters. Stepping her head up, Rainbow Dash managed to catch the shadow of a smile of a smug-looking pink unicorn mare about her own age, who was sitting just opposite of her. Rainbow Dash glared as she started reaching for yet another spoon. Just as the pink unicorn and friends started to titter, Dash, forgoing getting silverware, grabbed the soup bowl with her hooves and drank the entire thing in one gulp. She grinned toothily at the scandalized faces of the snobby young ponies, who immediately began whispering to one another. When some of the older ponies stood by and frowned disapprovingly at her, Dash looked at each one of them in the face, one by one until they all broke away. The rest of dinner passed in relative silence, as the ponies watched the young Pegasus devour her salad with the wrong fork, biting their lips at the crude display. Defiantly, Rainbow Dash held her head up high. Whenever she felt the eyes of some disapproving snob on her, she just stared down at him. No pony could meet her gaze. After dinner, Rainbow Dash went out on the balcony, enjoying the silence and cool night air. It was a welcome break from the stuffiness of the evening. She rested her head against the balcony railing and let the wind blow through her mane. It felt wonderful. When she heard whispering murmurings coming from the other side of the curtain, she couldn't help but wandering over to listen in.
I simply can't believe it.
It was the pink unicorn from the top of the table.
Why would Princess Celestia pick her for a student? She doesn't even know a salad fork from a lettuce fork.
She raised her delicate hope to her face.
She's not even from Captain Heart.
Another unicorn filly finally protested.
My great-grandfather personally received land from Princess Celestia 200 years ago. Why would she pick some common country Pegasus ruffian?
My family has been part of the nobility for 500 years, another replied. Something less than a scandal that the princess should have a common student.
And just look at her mane. I bet she dyes her hair just so she can look more like the princess.
The pink unicorn snorted, fronting a titter of giggles.
The truth is, she isn't the least bit special.
Rainbow Dash clenched her teeth.
Well, it's not like she has anything else to play up, one of the cronies said. I mean, even if she came close to a formal dress party without any clothes, can you believe it? It must be some sort of charity case, Tiffany,
the other lackey said to the pink one.
I've seen her flying through the streets, being chased by the gods like a common criminal, which she probably is. Tiffany snorted. She thinks she's so amazing because she can flap her little wings and make pretty rainbows. Please, I've seen ladybugs fly better than her. You're right. She must be some pony's idea of a charity case.
That was it. Rainbow Dash drew back the curtain, revealing herself to the clique of snobby ponies.
That's funny,
she snarled, taking a moment to delight in a momentary look of shocked surprise.
I didn't even think any of you knew the meaning of the word charity.
Tiffany, the ringleader, was the first to recover.
Well, don't you know that snooty stuffing isn't ladylike? Oh, wait, I suppose you wouldn't know what ladylike behavior is, would you?
A voice fairly drenched with insecurity.
This, from the mayor too cowardly to talk to me about my face?
Rainbow Dash shot back, snoring and stomping as about to charge.
Fine, I'll see it to your face, and I'll use small words so you'll understand. You're a disgrace and an embarrassment to the princess. She's just too nice to tell you. You're crude, uncouth, and common.
She spat the last word as if it was the ultimate insult. Rainbow Dash snickered.
If what you mean by not cool, boring, and complete snowfest, I'll take that as a compliment. Seriously, do you ever do anything besides gossip and preen?
Really? Tiffany stiffened. We can't spend all our time roughhousing with the royal guard.
Her friends tittered at the innuendo.
And crossing into Celestia school for getting unicorns.
That was one time, and I did not crash. I simply miscalculated my landing a bit. And hey, I had to do something.
What have you ever had to accomplish? Tiffany held her head, tried to look down Rainbow Dash, but she couldn't put off.
My family's son the crown of destinies, whereas your parents...
Don't talk about my parents.
Rainbow Dash snorted, her rose-colored eyes glinting through an angry reddish tone. Tiffany smiled as he realized she found a sensitive spot.
That's wrong. The same as how common and dead poor they were.
She said with a cruel malice as friends giggled.
Bet they sold you to the castle staff as a chambermaid for a few bits, and the Princess Celestia thought that you were kind to say she was your student. Is that it? I bet that's it, isn't it? Isn't that right, Rainbow Crap?
BOOM!
That was the last thing Tiffany said with a mouthful of teeth. To say the least, it was the more memorable parties in recent Twilight history. Rainbow Dash found herself sitting outside, while servants set about gathering Tiffany's teeth and handing party favors to the leaving guests, and hopefully not getting the two mixed up. She was having a fine sulk when she heard the gentle calls of host on the stairs.
What do you want?
Rainbow Dash groused, not bothering to turn around. Princess Celestia wore a stern visage as she shook her head. She had gotten the story for Tiffany and her companions, and a more accurate version from one fancy pants staff who overheard it all.
Rainbow Dash, I understand what she said to you was hurtful and cruel, but violence is not an acceptable answer.
Says who?
Dash pouted as she turned around.
I do.
Celestia reminded her firmly.
I am your teacher and princess. You came as my guest, and your behavior reflects upon me.
Well, it's not like I ever wanted to go. You forced me to!
Dash protested. Celestia gave her a glance that cut off her protest.
I was hoping you would take this opportunity to make some friends. Apparently I was wrong.
She sighed.
I say you were! Rainbow Dash snored. Me? Be friends with those snobby, stuck-up, gossipy brats? No way!
Celestia cleared her throat.
Be respectful.
You first!
Rainbow Dash fired back, her temper flowering.
You didn't even ask me what I wanted. I'm sick of getting shoveled around to these boring parties as your student. Princess Celestia's student. Princess Celestia and her student. They don't even know my name.
She stood up, angrily beating her wings.
I'm sick of being judged by a bunch of snobs and front-row ponies. I'm sick of wasting my time on them when I could be trained for the Wonderbolts, and I'm sick of you! Rainbow Dash!
Princess Celestia flared her wings out wildly.
You will be still!
Her voice rang with authority. Rainbow Dash felt her knees weaken.
I did not make you my student, and hear you whine and complain like a fool!
It was testament to both Rainbow Dash's attitude and how dearly Celestia held her in her heart that Dash could invoke such anger in one who had 1,000 years to deal with all sorts of situations without losing her temper.
and suddenly Celestia's anger had come, just as quickly did it pass, like a cloud in front of the sun. She knelt down, laying her wing on Rainbow Dash's back. As the Rainbow Maid Filly tried and failed, the fight to sobs had started to wreck her body. I'm always stuck in your shadow, she hiccuped, tears filling down her muzzle, and always being compared to you. And I can't win! I hate losing! Rainbow Dash shut her eyes. How am I supposed to win against a princess? She murmured. It's not fair. It's just not fair. Rainbow Dash, Celestia started, but Dash had enough. I gotta go! Rainbow Dash backed away. Rainbow Dash, wait! But the Pegasus turned and fled, leaving behind a rainbow trail, and suddenly a lonely princess before Celestia could say a word. Rainbow Dash's pained words struck a chord in Celestia, where they sounded buzzed like one other pony near and dear to her heart. Well, it said once, a millennium ago. The princess looked up, and sadly, she closed her eyes and solemnly vowed to herself, not again. Never again. Chapter 3. Leaving the Nest. The morning sun found Rainbow Dash in the middle of the palace labyrinth. It wasn't the first time she stuck out to spend the night by herself, and it probably wouldn't be the last. She shivered as she stirred, wishing she had the presence of mind to grab a cloud to sleep on last night. Stretching, she flew off into the morning air. Time for a little morning exercise. Within moments, she encountered a patrol of loyal Pegasus guards, no doubt with orders to keep an eye out for her. Hey, you guys! She waved. What's up?
Rainbow Dash! The leader of the patrol said in his most royal guard, I am serious, and you will obey voice. You are to return to the Caroline Castle immediately.
She pretended to think about it. Sure, Rainbow Dash smiled. No problem. But you know the rules. You have to catch me first.
Get back here!
That familiar cry was music to her ears. Pegasus flew between the towers of Canterlot Castle as the squad of guards chased after her in pursuit. To me, this is where the title screen starts up, and the opening credits. Rainbow Dash turned her back and smiled. Sorry guys, you gotta earn it. She performed a barrel roll and ended doing a slow backstroke in the sky, taunting the guards. Dazzle would get so close that the tip of her tails tickled their snoots, only then to put on a sudden burst of speed that left them all blinded by her rainbow trail. By the time they finished blinking and rubbing their eyes, Rainbow Dash was nowhere to be seen. Looking up from the castle courtyard, the captain of the royal guard shook his head.
Every time.
He closed his eyes and started counting. 1, 3, 2, 1. Tap, tap. He felt a hook gently rapping on his helmet. Right on time, he thought in bemusement. Before he finished turning around, he sighed and said, Hello, Rainbow Dash. Hey, Shiny! She gave a cheeky wave and a grin. What's up? Besides me, of course.
Rainbow Dash!
Shining Armor gave a rueful groan, unable to hide his knowing smile.
What is this? The third time this week? Get the poor Pegasus guards a break. They have better things to do than to chase you around Canterlot.
Not much of a chase. Chase implies he had a chance of catching me, which they didn't! She bumped her hook to her chest. Shining Armor chuckled. They had this little game going on for years. Yeah, I know. You're awesome. He rolled his eyes. Darn right! Rainbow Dash flexed. So, what's going on?
Just doing my job and checking up on my favorite flyer.
Put his hook to his shoulder, gently easier to the ground. So, what's going on with you? Rainbow Dash colored a bit as Shining Armor touched her. Nothing! Nothing's going on! She gave her widest and most confident-looking smile that utterly conveyed and it convinced any pony. Shining resisted the urge to laugh. You know, Rainbow Dash practically says he joined the Royal Guard, not long after she was brought to Canterlot. He quickly became aware of the Princess Celestia's mischievous students by a series of pranks he liked to play on the Royal Guard, such as putting Itzy Powder in his armor on his first day while he was guarding Princess Celestia. It was the longest guard shift ever. Royal Guard was alternatively aggravated and amused by the prankster Pegasus, and eventually adopted her as the guard's mascot. In fact, her pranks became part of the initiation for new members. Shining Armor supposed that the guard commanded figured if the guards could put up with Rainbow Dash's practical jokes, they could put up with anything. That, and the guards who weren't paying their most of attention,
had a higher risk of ending up the butt of one of her pranks. Shining Armor learned that the hard way. It wasn't long, however, before he quickly became her favorite target. Hiding his armor, stealing his alarm clock, putting hot sauce in his breakfast, the works. If it annoyed him to no end, he was practically driving him to distraction. It was the only time that he realized that the little Pegasus filly had developed a crush on him. It was sweet, and more than a bit annoying at times, especially when it resulted with him showing up to escort nobles and guessing the princess with his armor painted bright pink, or had Tyler's limerick scrolled on the side. Shining Armor never let on that he was aware of her childhood crush, instead decided to treat her like his little sister. That is, if his little sister was a mischievous, cocky speed demon with a penchant for getting herself into trouble, and needed him to bail her out whenever she got in over her head. Still, from time to time, Rainbow Dash's crush could come in handy. Shining Armor knew just how to put her off her guard and fluster her. Aside from being cute to make the normally brass and unreserved Pegasus blush, it was a useful interrogation technique. Are you sure? Shining Armor let a smile tug at his corner's mouth. As much as you like leading the guards on a merry chase around the city, you usually don't do it more than twice a week. So tell me, what's up? Rainbow Dash looked down, scuffing at their payment. She didn't really want to talk about last night. I guess I'm just feeling kinda bored. Bored? Shining Armor raised his skeptical eyebrow. Rainbow Dash nodded in confirmation. Dashy. The Pegasus flushed at the childish nickname. You seriously mean to tell me that you're bored in the royal city? Everything any pony could think of could be found here. Just what is it that you're looking for? I don't even know. She looked away. Do you know just how lucky you are? Shining Armor questioned. You're Princess Celestia's own personal student, her protege. My little sister Twilight would give her right hoof for such an opportunity. Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes. Oh yeah, your famous sister. The one you're always talking about, but I never actually see. I'm starting to wonder if she even exists. Shining Armor grunted. He tried to lure his sister out of her room into the library to make friends with Dash. Celestia knew they both needed some, and the brass reckless Rainbow Dash and the nervous reclusive Twilight Sparkle could manage to tell her out, so much the better. But Twilight had drawn into a shell, forming her near-disastrous entrance exam, Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns, refused to come out of it. Shaking that thought aside, Shining Armor pushed on. Anyway, what do you mean when you say you're bored? That's what it sounds like! Rainbow Dash stomped her hoof. Princess Celestia is great and all, but Canterlot is so boring! With these snobby nobles and all their rules about which fork to use, and their boring music, and their even more boring conversations. Ugh, and don't get me started on the fancy parties and the frou-frou outfits they make me wear. I don't even know why the princess makes me go to them. Ah, she made a gagging notion. I've had my fill of it. I want to race. I want to fly fast. I feel trapped. She looked up at him, almost begging him to understand. What's the point in having wings if you never got to stretch them? This is about the Sonic Rainboom, isn't it? Shining Armor asked softly. Mary Jess lowered her head and looked away. He sighed. I'm sorry. I know how hard you've been trying to do it again, but these things take time. Time? Rainbow Jess stood up, tears of anger and frustration building in her eyes. It's been ages! I haven't been able to even come close to pulling off a Sonic Rainboom since the first time. Princess Celestia said she'd teach me, help me master my gifts, but nothing's happened. I bet I could have done it by now so you couldn't keep wasting my time and bringing me to all these boring dinners and reading all that boring stuff. She deflated in a low mumble. Maybe every pony would see whatever it is Princess Celestia sees in me. He had to reach the earth to reach over and hug the younger filly, but she didn't need him to feel sorry for her. It wouldn't change anything. Princess Celestia told him in the moment in which Rainbow Dash had performed the Sonic Rainboom. A magical connection had been formed, binding Rainbow Dash's fate to those of several other ponies scattered about Equestria. So he decided to bring Rainbow Dash and Canterlot to keep an eye on her, and study on this magical connection, and who these ponies were that she was bound to. If Celestia ever discovered anything, she had not confided in her captain. Instead, Shining Armor snored, Oh, that's just nonsense talk. He tossed his head, indicating the place where she had just lost her pursuers. You're the most naturally talented flyer I've ever seen. Your speed and agility is incredible, and it's only gotten better. Still not good enough for the Wonderbolts. Still can't perform the Sonic Rainboom again. She crossed her legs across her chest in a pout. Last time I went back to Cloudsdale, none of the other Pegasi believed I could ever perform the Sonic Rainboom. They just called it an old mare's tail. I said I didn't have the skill to pull it off. The older unicorn gently draped a hoof over her back. And that's why you're Princess Celestia's student, and they're not. You're a dreamer, Dash, and you dream big. Just like the old Pegasus saying, aim for the heavens, even if you miss and land among the stars. Rainbow Dash finished. I know. She looked up as trying to see those stars, despite the sun being out. They just seem so far away, and I'm not getting any closer. Corked eyebrow was Shining Armor's response. Never took you for a quitter, Rainbow Dash. She flinched as if stung, whirling on. I'm no quitter! Well, all this moping about and complaining, it seems kinda... Shiny gave a small cherubic grin, calculated to drive any pony nuts. The sight of Rainbow Dash's rose-colored eyes narrowing told him it was working. Don't you dare, she grounded out. Lame. Shining Armor smart. Quickly moved to the side as Rainbow Dash came with an instant tackling into the ground. I'll show you, lame! She snarled, turning around. I'm going to kick your flake so hard that I have to change your name to Dented Armor! Shining Armor chuckled. You'll have to catch me first. With a burst of light and a low pop, he vanished in a magical teleport. Rainbow Dash fumed and took off, searching all over the palace for the canto of the royal guard. From her balcony, Princess Celestia watched the whole scene with a small smile gracing her royal visage. Celestia closed her eyes as she let herself drift back to that fateful day. She led Canterlot to follow a bright rainbow, only to find an even brighter one at the end. She sighed to herself. When she had asked Rainbow Dash to be her personal student, she told the young filly she would have to work hard. What the princess had discovered was that she had to work just as hard. Rainbow Dash was a project, make no mistake. It's like being a sculptor, having to chip and smooth and polish the statue that lay beneath the rock. It required a lot of effort on both their parts. To her credit, Rainbow Dash had worked hard. But much to her discomfort, Celestia didn't simply teach her how to strengthen her body and fly. She had taught her history, science, and literature, mathematics, and other pursuits that Rainbow Dash considered to be the providence of eggheads. Celestia had tried to teach her some proper manners to make her stay in Canterlot easier, but those never caught on. Even the princess and mover of the sun knew a lost cause when she saw it. Instead, she redoubled her efforts to train Rainbow Dash in mind, body, and spirit, while often complaining to any pony listening how lame they were. Rainbow Dash put up with all of them for a chance of becoming a better athlete and flyer. But Rainbow Dash could never keep her muzzle out of trouble. It wasn't long before she became bored with her studies, frustrated with her lack of progress, and ultimately restless. And a restless Rainbow Dash was a dangerous thing indeed. It wasn't long before she started getting into trouble in Canterlot, zooming through the streets at low altitudes, leading the guards on merry chases through the skies of the city, playing her practical jokes on the guards, servants, palace staff, even the princess herself once or twice. As responsive as she was, Celestia only put her hoof down once or twice for Rainbow Dash, knowing where the line was. Even the most foolhardy would think twice before risking Celestia's anger. From then on, Rainbow Dash would always skirt the line, seeing how far she could push the limits, but never crossing it. However, Celestia did not want to crush Rainbow Dash's free spirit. Privately, she hadn't had this much fun in Canterlot since her sister... Well, that was another story. Still, the corridors of the palace had never been so loud with the sounds of laughter, and the skies of the city had never been brighter. She wondered sometimes if making Rainbow Dash her personal student had been fair to her. Rainbow Dash had never managed to form strong connections with any of the other young ponies in Canterlot, which tended to be mostly unicorns, children of merchants, traders, or noble ponies. There was little common ground between them and the brass adventurous Pegasus, literally. Rainbow Dash's pride and her impatience tended to grate on many of her peers, just as her snobbiness and persecuting nature grated on her. Last night's blow-up, as regrettable as it was, perhaps inevitable. Celestia sighed, but perhaps she was being just selfish. She had seen Rainbow Dash grow increasingly frustrated and restless in Canterlot. It was simply too small to contain her, and she wasn't talking about Smize. Rainbow Dash bolted to the last place she saw a flash of purple, on top of one of the spires of Canterlot Castle. Gotcha! She crowed as she bared down his shining armor. At the last second, he teleported out, leaving Dazzle in a face-full tower.
Ow!
Rubbing her snout ruefully, she cast around to catch a glimpse of her quarry. As he did, the sprawling valley below the mountains held Canterlot aloft, seemed to open up beneath her. She could practically see forever. All the other towns and villages of Equestria looked so close. Rainbow Dash felt like she only needed to stretch out her hoof to grab them. That was when a burst of inspiration struck her. Why not go check them out? Her eyes lit up. It was a great idea. After last night, she definitely had enough of the Canterlot scene for a while. And she had to admit, she wanted to put a little distance between herself and Celestia until they could cool down. They fought before, and Rainbow knew the worst thing she would do. We decided to talk to the Princess before they were both ready. Besides, the Princess would be swamped with praying for the summer sun celebration in a few days. She probably wouldn't even miss her. Then, when everything was done, they had time to themselves, Dash would go apologize. Plus, it would be a great prank to imagine Shining Armor teleporting all over town before realizing she wasn't chasing him anymore. Classic! With a determined grin, she threw herself off the tower, letting gravity pull her low until she was right at tree top level. Then, she pulled up with a spectacular twirl and set herself against the crystal blue sky, letting her go wherever the wind may take her.